episode of Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works. The mystery behind the identity of Archer is finally over. I just want to stress that in this week's episode, they do not say the name of Archer. They don't put a name to a face, but they've given the viewers enough clues in the previous episodes, especially in this one right here, when we get to see some glimpses of the backstory of Archer, where we can finally figure out who Archer is, and it seems like Shiro even knows who he is by the end of this week's episode, and I can firmly say that Archer is some kind of future alternate version of Shiro Emiya. He is Shiro from the future who has gained the power of the heroic spirits, and he doesn't exactly have a noble phantasm, but he does have this reality marble, which is known as Unlimited Blade Works. It's this massive, vast desert which is like a representation of what he views the world as, which is this big, decrepit old desert with massive cogs and gears and swords stuck in the ground, and it gives him this special ability to replicate any weapon that he has seen, and this can include legendary weapons like Excalibur. And speaking of Excalibur, did anybody else get chills when Rin and Saber actually performed a contract together and they made a pact, and now Rin is the master of Saber? That scene was so awesome, especially how she went from being in that dress to going back into her traditional armor, brandishing Excalibur. King Arthur has finally returned. As cool as Unlimited Blade Works is, and actually seeing it in action for the very first time, it is disappointing that they basically just cut away from like a big action scene, and suddenly Rin is just captured out of nowhere, and then they go off. This is going to force Shiro and Saber to have to team up together, and they're actually going to work with Lancer as well to try and go after Archer. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works? Is it just me, or did this episode go by in like 5 minutes? It was so good too. This was definitely one of the better episodes I've seen from the entire series. I especially love how they're actually slowly giving us glimpses of Archer's backstory. That's something that I really can't wait to see and learn a little bit more about, especially how he was actually betrayed by mankind. I really can't wait to see how that goes down, and I really want to see more of how like Shiro actually ends up becoming this character. The thing that's really weird though, if it's like the future version of Shiro, I'm really interested to see like why his appearance changed, why he now has white hair, his skin color has changed. Obviously he sounds a little different, probably because he's older, but I can't wait to see like the journey that Shiro went on to become Archer. Another really cool thing about this episode, of course, is that scene where Rin is captured, and then there's that great little confrontation between both Archer and Gilgamesh. And when Archer is walking out and Gilgamesh calls him a faker, what's up with that? Like, is that because Archer actually is like creating like all of these fake weapons and stuff from all the ones that he's seen? Like, he's basically just sort of berating him, and basically that's just what Gilgamesh usually does. I mean, for more info on Gilgamesh, see Fate Zero. And speaking of Fate Zero, I just want to say that I'm almost done with my Fate Zero anime series review. I'm going to be releasing it next week. Before I got into Unlimited Blade Works, I made it through like halfway of Fate Zero, and then I started watching Unlimited Blade Works, but I finished up with the series a little while ago. It was freaking amazing. It blew me away, so I just want to talk about it a little bit and some of the characters. And seeing all of Fate Zero has allowed me to appreciate the show just all the bit more. Just the fact that Archer as a character is from the future and that they can summon heroic spirits from just about any time just gives me a lot of hope for the future of Fate Stay Night, because they can do really whatever they want at this point. Just the fact that they can pull people from the future, they can come up with their own ridiculous, overpowered heroic spirits, and I can't wait to see more from this team in the future. On the technical side of things, this week's episode, just like the rest of Fate Stay, is absolutely amazing. Animation, artwork, music, voice acting, it's all top-notch, thanks to good people at Ufotable. It's really freaking awesome. So yeah, this was a slam dunk episode of the series, giving us some glimpses into Archer's backstory, what his true identity is going to be. Rin and Saber teaming up is awesome. There's some really great action scenes. Gilgamesh-Archer confrontation. Saber, Shiro, and Lancer teaming up. There's going to be some amazing action coming our way, guys, so we should definitely look forward to that. And this week's episode was great, incredibly atmospheric, and I loved it. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 4 out of 5. Check it out, Fate Stay fans. It was really awesome. So I really love this episode a lot, but what about you guys? How did you feel about this week's episode of Unlimited Blade Works? What did you think about the big reveal of Archer's true identity? What do you want to see from the rest of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.